Hey guys, how's it going? Kermode here. Welcome to another tutorial. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about a few new features in Ableton 11 that I think are going to completely speed up your workflow. I'm a huge proponent of being able to work quickly in your DAW, understand your way around, and just be able to execute a song as quickly as possible. And with 11, there were some quality of life upgrades that I think are going to really help with workflow. So let's check out those features. The first feature I want to talk about is the ability to do multi-clip editing. So what I mean by this is, for example, let's say we have two different MIDI clips here, each with their own MIDI pattern. I'm just going to insert something. Also, actually, look at that. That's a cool new workflow feature. Now, instead of when using the pencil being locked to a single line like previously, you are no longer locked to that. So we have clip 1 here, and let's do clip 2 here. But now when we hold shift and click both of them, we are able to edit both of them. Not only that, but that extends beyond just what's on an individual track. For example, if we were to highlight all 4 of these clips, you can see by these bars here, we're able to edit them together. So this is going to be a wicked new feature for just being able to edit clips together at the same time, as well as see how your compositions actually interact with one another. Next up has to do with how things are actually organized in the browser. And what I mean by that is when you go to audio effects here, you can actually see that audio effects have now been put into individual folders. So this is going to make navigation in the long term be a lot better. Right now, I'm new to 11, so having to remember which thing is in which folder is a bit of a nuisance right now. But I know in the long term, once I know for a fact what's in each folder, it's going to be a lot easier to just jump, know where it is, and get there a little quicker, instead of looking in an alphabetical list and sometimes missing it and scrolling around and looking like that. Not only that, but in this folder system, they've included this modulator folder, and in it is actually the max for live modulators that are so important to Ableton's workflow, such as LFO, which allows you to modulate many parameters within Ableton, or envelope follower, which lets me follow the dynamic of a sound and modulate something, or shaper, which is actually very similar to LFO, but more similar to the famous LFO tool, which allows you to actually create your own modulation shape, map it to something, and have it modulate that thing synchronized to the audio, but with a much more interesting modulation shape than the basic LFO device. So all in all, I think this is going to be a major quality of life upgrade, having these folders and being able to find devices a lot quicker. While we're still in the browser here, the next one is this template folder, but you can populate this with your own. So for example, if every time you do a sound design session, you have certain synths set up in a certain way, you could save that as a template, easily access it. I know I have a live performance template. I could probably save it in here, access it easier. Maybe when I mix down a song, I already have my folders created with routing and certain plugins I need. That could be in here. So I think this opens up a new way of thinking that I know people did do before, but now will probably become more part of their workflow, where maybe you have a dubstep template, house music template, whatever it is, it's saved here, and now you can easily access it at any time. The next tip has to do with racks. So now with racks, there's a couple amazing features. One, we have the ability to add more up to a total of 16, or we even have the ability to subtract. Why this is cool is if we have like a 1 knob effect or a 2 knob effect, you could minimize it, which is just easier on the eyes, more exciting, and just more in tune to what you're actually using. The big workflow addition though is the concept known as snapshots. So snapshots are when you set up the macros in a specific way. You can then save this snapshot to achieve it at any point. You could create a new one, snap it, and then at any point you can toggle between these different settings. This is going to have real big implications when it comes to live performance, where if you have certain settings, you can easily access them. or just in case you find a combination of positions that sound really good and you don't want to lose that and you want to access it later. So this is just a really, really nice feature. I love this snapshot ability. This is going to be a really amazing workflow option. Also, a final little bonus to do with the macros, I do want to mention there's also a random function here, which for me is huge because I love using randomness when I'm writing music. So having the ability to play a random functionality is just so cool. And lastly, what I want to talk about is the new recording workflow in Ableton, which introduces lanes so we can do proper comping. This is available with both MIDI and audio. So I'm actually going to show you guys with MIDI because I know a lot of people are talking about the audio one, but let's even just look at MIDI. So what's going to happen now when we loop record is this. So I'm just going to start recording. The sound doesn't really matter here, so I'm just going to play. I'm going to arm my track. I'm just going to play. And then let's do one more loop here. So typically what would happen is it would just continuously record over and create this super long take that we would have to explore through. Now, however, what happens is not only do we have the long take down here, but if you right click the track and click this, show take lanes, we have the different takes. These takes can now be cut up and dropped onto the top actual track so that we can easily just loop record a vocal, loop record us playing MIDI, loop record anything, and every time it loops it creates a new lane so that you have this master lane up top, the track, which we can then comp and they'll pop up above. This has been what has been holding Ableton back from being considered an industry standard or the industry standard when it comes to recording and music production because programs like Pro Tools had a much more efficient recording system that involved comping, and it made recording and editing things so easy, while on Ableton it was a little bit of a struggle previously. Now we don't have that problem. We can finally put to rest the debate whether you need to learn something like Pro Tools as well as Ableton because you're going to be recording artists. Now you don't need that. You can do it all in Ableton really well, really efficiently, and it's just the biggest quality of life upgrade. It's probably one of the biggest things for Ableton 11, and personally, I am so excited to just master the lane functionality. So there we go, guys. I just want to make this video to get you guys excited for Ableton 11. All these workflow improvements are going to make a big difference once you get to know them really well. It's all going to save you time, and again, save time in the studio means more music. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this video. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing because I'm going to be back soon with more Ableton 11 videos. So thanks again, guys. My name's Kermode. Peace.